Hey guys, Grant Hubbard here with another great gutter growth podcast for you. Today I want to talk Underdeck, and I want to talk it with Heath Bowman, the owner of Haven Underdeck. And how you doing today?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Of course. So this has been a long time coming, and I know you're currently working with a gutter growth member right now. He's up with you doing some training, so thank you for that. I think it's fabulous how not only do you have a really elegant product that you can offer to help capture that water underneath the deck, but you're also willing to help train people. And we really want to talk about that today. But now let's just start off with how's your year? How's the year going this year
It's
already?
going good, man. We, had a slow start. I think we're seeing that all across the country. It's finally started warming up here in Georgia more consistently. I think that's getting people outside. And so we're really starting to see it pick up on our end for sure.
Do you have a busy and slow season technically, like in the gutter business? I know you used to be in the gutter business with the Underdeck, or do you find that not to be the same situation?
Yeah, so early on, we've been doing this for 16 years, and early on, I was always concerned about winter. We still work full year, but we definitely see a slowdown probably right after Thanksgiving until Valentine's Day, really.
Okay.
Start getting into those holiday seasons. People are preparing for other stuff. With underdecks, it's not really a necessity, right? It's not a roof that's leaking. So we definitely have a busy season. Say anytime that I always say that first warm day after middle of February, we can go from where we're 2 weeks out on our schedule to 3 months. So it really can get pretty busy.
Tell us a little bit about the crew size that you have working over there directly for you.
Yeah, so good question. So Haven Underdeck is a material only company. Southeastern Underdeck is our installed service division. We work mainly in Georgia. We do a little bit in South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, but we work 2-man crews for the most part. We do have a 4-man crew. We do have a 3-man crew. We run 7 crews all day, every day. But the typical that we see it, across the U.S., I always tell people, 2-man crew can do 250 to 300 square feet a day. So that's normally what we kind of push for, or what we're looking for. You can do these by yourself, but it's just a lot tougher. It's good to have somebody on the other side of the wood that you got to hold while you're putting it up. So,
yeah, that makes sense. I want to actually showcase some of your work here from your website while I ask you some more questions.
Yeah, great.
For a visual here. Tell us a little bit about how did it start off as Haven Underdeck? Is that how you started off, or was it something else? And what got you into this business?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So we've been doing underdecks for 16 years. This started as Southeastern Underdeck, really with a Nissan pickup truck and a 16-foot trailer when I got started in my backyard. Probably like a lot of your gutter growth members from the ground up. And so I became a member of NADRA, which is the North American Deck and Rail Association. And so I'm meeting with deck builders all over the country. And there's a lot of guys up in the Northeast that had heard about our underdeck system. And they just started drilling me about it. And it's like, tell me about it. And I, total things and what it can do. Being an all aluminum system, it having, multiple textures, having the lights, the fans, the speakers, removable panels. So if you ever need to get back into it, I'm going through my spill. Like, man, that's awesome. Where can I get it? I was like, oh, well, you can't have it. The greatest sales pitch ever. This is the thing you can't have. And then a couple years of that, I kind of just said, well, why can't they have it? I know I don't have distribution, but I mean, there's trucks that come through Atlanta every day that are willing to drive to Jersey and drop it off. So that's where Haven really got created, was just a lot of guys that I knew in the Northeast that were building decks, crazy high-end, $100,000, $200,000 deck and outdoor living spaces, and they didn't have a product that they liked and available to them. So we started Haven Underdeck about 5-6 years ago. COVID down with a lot of our marketing and stuff, being able to be in front of people. So it really in the last 2 years, it's just kind of taken off. Doing some shows through Summit. We've been a part of that. Now we'll be a part of that this year as well. And a couple of the other big shows like Deck Expo and some of the other.
Hi, my name is Archie, and I don't want this, or this to cause unexpected damage to your home.
Prevent unexpected and costly damage from clogged gutters. Protect your home with One Gutter Guard, the trusted solution for gutter protection. Call us today to schedule your free gutter inspection and estimate.
Some of the other industry shows, and it's just, people have heard about us now and they want it, and how fast can they get it? So
yeah, no, that makes sense. Some of these are really, really, oh, I got them. Some of these are really, really gorgeous looking. I got some video here that you have on installing wall channels and gutters right here. And I like how, so you guys can go check this out, havenunderdeck.com. You can go /installation videos, or you can see the website here is very easy to navigate. But if you really want to get an idea, obviously we're talking here the seamless gutter industry, how you're already in front of a client, you've probably already paid for that lead or earned that referral. And if you're in a region that has a lot of these decks. What are these called? I mean, you can have a deck that you just walk out onto the ground on. These are more, I always consider them balconies. What is the proper terminology for this?
Yeah, right. They're decks, right? You just want a deck. You can do them on balconies. Balcony is going to be more of your kind of commercial work. You're looking at townhomes, things like that. Then you kind of call them balconies.
Okay.
You get that a lot in Florida. Stuff on the beach. I've got a project here when we get off. It's got like 82 underdecks that I've got a quote for a material supplier in Michigan. So the stuff that we're on all day, every day are decks. That's going to be your biggest piece of it. What's great about it is I know you guys kind of focus on a lot of the high-end clientele, right? So guys that are doing you got a lot of guys doing half round and some of the Euro gutters. Those are the people that are going to have the bigger decks and the bigger projects and, disposable income. I mean, you're not, if you're even interested in a half round job, you probably got a couple extra bucks in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
That's, again, like we were talking, these aren't necessarily needs, these are wants. And, with outdoor living being such a craze these days, it's as important as kitchens and bathrooms. This just really falls in line with it. So I would say if you've got a lot of guys like pool guys, high-end residential guys, anytime you're just on one of these projects, it's great to just be, or one of these high-end houses, it's great to be able to have an offering like this.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about what does the offering look like? And I know that could, obviously vary vastly, but how do you even get started? So what's your best recommendation to a gutter company? And I know we're watching this video here. Doesn't look like the largest deck in the world. Looks like a pretty typical size one that somebody in our gutter growth community or in the gutter industry would run into. Well, what would you recommend that they even approach that customer the first time? They're there. They see the deck is bare. It doesn't have these panels yet. What do you guys say? Like, hey, you're tired of getting wet under here? Or I noticed you can't put any furniture, or like how do they get into it?
Yeah. So I like to ask my clients how they're going to use the space, right? So just, hey, what are you guys utilizing? Do you guys get to spend any time underneath that deck? I've got a great product that we also offer that'll keep that dry and make it look nice and clean, and it won't look so unfinished like an unfinished basement.
Right.
And because you're right, a lot of people don't even realize that this is a thing to dry in the underside of your deck. So we do a lot of home and garden shows. So we'll set up a booth. People are walking through and they don't even understand what they're looking at. You almost have to hold their hand and explain it to them. We get into some of the markets like Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina. They're like, "Is that a deer stand?" It's like,
right.
No, this is an underdeck. It's for your house. So when you're initially getting into it and you get it, and if you're doing home and garden shows, it's great to have a display set up. But I always look at those as, look, that's a 3-year lead, right? Okay. They came and they needed a new air conditioner, or they wanted a gutter, or it's time for a new kitchen. They weren't thinking about their underdeck typically, right? They didn't go to the home and garden show for that. So day one, you captured their attention and they got an idea. They're not buying anything from you today, right? Yeah. So they come back the next year, they see you, and then they get an appointment. And maybe you close them that year, maybe you don't. But I typically say it's the third year when they come, that's when they write you a check.
Okay.
When you're first getting into this, I think the cheapest way, I don't want you to go out and spend $1 million in marketing trying to get off the ground, right? Let's start dating before we get married. Mm-hmm. So what I will do for all of your gutter growth, and I think me and you have talked about maybe getting Dr. Pipeline? Yeah, Dr. Pipeline kind of involved in maybe.
Yeah, we had a good conversation about that recently.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to be able to do something cool. But yeah, we're going to be able to work exclusively with our current clientele.
The cheapest way to start off immediately is let me send those that Dropbox file that's got all the pretty pictures. Let's put together an introduction email, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of an email blast campaign, because a lot of your guys have been doing this for a couple of years. They've got a couple thousand email addresses of successful jobs that they've done. So you don't even have to buy that lead again, right? It's very cheap to send out an e-blast. Put the work in, make something that's very high end. We've got plenty of projects that you can use for photos, some verbiage. Email blast that out, and you're gonna get some immediate response of that. Of, oh wow, we didn't know that you did that. So you're getting leads off the rip, very cheap, and then you can really be in the business. Now, if you need samples, hard samples, stuff like that, all I need is an address, and I can get that to you in a few days. So depends on where you're at in that process.
Right now, you're going to have their interest peaked. So how do people reach out to you, Heath? What's the best way? Someone's listening right now and says, I like that. He's willing to help me get some customers. Yeah, I've got 10 years, 5 years, 20 years of old customers. Dang, how do I get a hold of? What's the best way?
Yeah, so cell phone is probably going to be the best way. I spend a lot of time traveling. Cell phone and text is really the best way to get in touch with me. I'll always answer if I'm not on a plane. Okay. So it's 404-405-0754. You can also email me at hbowman@havenunderdeck.com.
Okay,
but I'll tell you, especially when I'm traveling, it'll be a few days. I always tell people, if you want to get in touch with me, call me or text me. If you want to hear from me in a week, send me an email.
Send me an email, right? Let's talk about what you're doing when you're out traveling a lot. You're doing a lot for Underdeck and other things, but here you have some different options when it comes to these Underdeck. When you're out traveling, whether you're with a member, a gutter growth member, or one of your new clients, you're coming out and you're helping support them on that first job. There's some qualifications to that. But I know you will also, like you have a member up right now, have people come out to you is probably the best way. Preemptively get some training, send a couple of their guys to you, because like you said, you're ripping and roaring jobs all day, all year. And it's really easy for those guys to just come kind of sidekick with the team of yours and really see how the pros do it. Talk to us a little bit about, is this your 3 different options here? These are the 3 most common probably.
Yeah. So we have 8 different textures, right? So we have our smooth, our 4-bead, actually it's 10, sorry about that. Our smooth panel, we have our 4-bead, 3-bead, 2-bead, 1-bead, and then we have our wood grain embossed panel, and then you can have all of those beaded overlays on that as well. And you can get that in any of our 25 colors to choose from, which is great. So that you can really dial this into what the customer is wanting. This is a really good tool. I like that you pulled that up. So this is our color visualizer. If you guys are not utilizing this on the job site, you should be. Like, this should be something that I always tell my homeowners, like, all right, we've done our part. We've gotten you some pricing. Now it's time for you to do your homework. Let's go. And I'll do this before we even go out to the job. When I schedule the consultation and we're going to be there next Tuesday, I was like, all right, well, I got a little homework for you. So I want you to go and make sure you understand the options that we have. I want you to check out the options page, scroll through that. And then I want you to go to the color visualizer. So then they can go and select a scene like you've done. They can go and select the different textures, select the different panel colors. And then from that, once they've dialed in their panel color and texture, they can then scroll down and select the trim color.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's going to let them decide, okay, do I want to have, a nice, light, bright underdeck panel, but, my deck is a nice custom Trex. It's all wrapped. It's black, or it's a dark bronze or a brown, kind of match your trims with all of those pieces. And it just gives them something to get excited about even before you get there. Right.
Yeah.
So they're almost ready to buy it before you've been there, pulled a tape, done anything. So having it kind of helps them get excited about the project. And now you're just talking about the fun stuff, right? You're talking about lighting, fan mounts, where we're going to put the speakers at, where the downspout location is going to be. So it's almost, these tools will help you kind of close.
So this is what I found.
Okay, so you're telling me my clogged gutters caused all this? I had no idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, most homeowners don't think about their gutters until this kind of stuff happens.
Wow.
Prevent unexpected and costly damage from clogged gutters. Protect your home with One Gutter Guard, the trusted solution for gutter protection. Call us today to find out why more homeowners are choosing One Gutter Guard.
Close the deal before you even get there.
Yeah, I like that. So talk to us a little bit about some of these options. We saw you last year at the summit during the VIP event. I know you're going to do that again, and probably just like us as the people throwing the event will be even better. I don't know how you could have gotten any better. Your rig is amazing. You guys come check him out this year at the summit. He's got just the coolest rig that you can hop in and you can work on some stuff right there. He'll have some of the panels for you. He'll show you how he puts in some of the lighting or the speakers. It's an amazing training setup. You absolutely do not want to miss that at the VIP event for sure.
That's been a game changer for us. That was kind of in my head for about 3 years. And I didn't really want to do it because I know what happens whenever I did that. That meant that I was going to be traveling. So
Yes,
I held off as long as I could. And my wife was like, what are you waiting for? I was like, well, I'm going to be the one pulling the trailer, sweetie. So, but that has absolutely been a game changer. We have been Spectra Metals is our distributor. We do as many of their open houses, and we get excited about your events. I know you're going to have some stuff coming up that's not just Gutter Summit. We'd love to be a part of that as well. But it's just being able to have guys come in and us build an underdeck in 5 to 10 minutes. It really just kind of shows, one, how easy it is, and just getting guys to be able to touch all the parts, see all the electrical components, see all the options on it, and understand it. It just really, honestly, it changes that sales cycle as well. Having that confidence to walk in and know that you have played with these parts and pieces before. I don't get in there and I'm not the one putting it together. You've seen me out there. I make the guys do it. I'm like, you're here. Yeah. I've done 20,000 of these. I know how to do it by now. get your butt up here, get on the ladder. Let's talk about how we do pitch. Let's talk about how panels go together, and get your snips out and let's go.
Yeah, I think it's good to find out the ease of use, right? That this underdecking system. I remember the first time I called you about one a few years ago, and we were on a house that had 3 or 4 stories of decks. And I remember, and we didn't end up getting that job. I didn't do a very good job of leading on closing it with the gentleman I was currently managing as the sales rep. And our situation. I mean, we were just banging out millions of dollars trying to add another system style of sale, the Underdeck at that time, I think was too much for us just because
timing wasn't right.
The timing wasn't right. But that house I think about often, and I'm like, man, today that would be a really, really sweet deal. But I remember sitting there before I talked to you, I was like, man, I bet you this is so complicated. Once I was able to see at the summit and watch all of those different people, 20, 30, 40 people each cycle as we cycled them through, come over there and work on it, I was like, well, this is like gutters. This isn't necessarily rocket science. I'm going to need some good training, and I'm going to need a quality product. But after that, again, I've already paid for the lead. I'm already here doing gutters or something. Why not just bring up, I like what you said, what are you currently doing with this space? And if I had a solution for you to waterproof it, would you be doing something with the space if you're not? And I think that's a great way to look at that.
I think that any sales guy that's out on a job, while he's measuring that up, if he sees a deck on it that's a possibility, my suggestion would be go ahead and measure that space, right? Okay. I don't want you to quote this on the same quote as your gutter, right? I want you guys to go and close that job. But then after you've done that job, hit them back up, right? It's already cost you what it cost you for your lead. Go ahead and hit them back up 2 weeks later and be like, hey, we had a good successful project for you. We do have this other product that I want to run by you and see what your thoughts are. Hit them back up with that. So now you can try to get double, triple the revenue off of that one lead. But I don't want you to put that on that same thing, because a lot of homeowners, they just want to see what that bottom line dollar is. And I don't want you to throw this dollar on that quote, right? I think you're better off if you just kind of run that as a secondary.
I agree with you. I'm looking at this pic. You can see this photo here, I take it. I'm looking at this photo here. And as I'm going through and I'm starting at the beginning of our conversation, how you let them know, let's say, Mother's Gutters is going to start doing Underdeck, and which we will be doing. You'll get us over a beautiful package of photos, right? So that we're not coming in blind. Now, I could just imagine if you're my customer, Heath, and let's say, we're out in the backyard and I've got my nice tablet or wherever we are. And I'm going to use this picture as an example. On the left side here, you can see the kind of part that wasn't underdecked. I don't even think it's necessarily made to be, but you got that unfinished feel. And now as I'm showing this customer, all these jobs right here, they all have something in common. That looks like a really fun time in that backyard right there now.
Yeah, those people are enjoying themselves. And that's one of the things that we kind of talk about is, we're bringing the inside and the outside together, right? Look at some of these spaces.
Yeah.
And they're gorgeous. So I'm not going to tell you I run out there and enjoy my space when it rains every time, right? Of course, right? I enjoy it all the other times. It's just cleaner. It looks finished. It's inviting.
Well, I can come out to this and have my fans, and I cannot see cobwebs everywhere, and I can invest in my space. And then here I've got, my nice, whatever that is, royal brown or bronze gutter accent that looks like crown molding going all the way around, capturing that water. And I'm out here, and now I'm reading, I'm smoking my cigar, I'm looking out at this view, I'm at the pool, I'm doing business out there versus in my office. You've got these swings, these swing hooks. I think once I get into standing there with the customer, these photos of what looks a lot more enjoyable versus when we're standing out there in that raw deck, the raw wood,
right?
And they've got a couple plastic chairs And when it rains, everything's got to get put up and covered. And
it's, you know, you get mildew and it's just dirty. I mean, you don't want to be down there. It's gross. It reminds you of all the work you're going to have to do to clean it up.
It does, really. And then you're getting ready to entertain. And if you're, as many people are, especially if you have a nice house or a deck, you kind of want to be out on it or under it, right? And when it's not put together, you don't. You just think about, like you said, all that mildew. Man, I got to pressure wash before Heath and his wife come over this weekend. And babe, could you wipe down everything because it's covered in dust, you know? Yeah, it's not very fun. And then you just end up not using the outside space, right? That's what happens. You shove the lawnmower back there.
That's exactly right. So one of the things that we hear a lot on my install side, we'll go back to a customer 3 years from now because they didn't want the lights, they didn't want the fans, they didn't want the speakers or swing mounts. So we'll get a call 3 years from now. It's like, Heath, I know you pushed us hard on the lights, fans, speakers. We didn't think we were going to use this space because we were never out here. Now we're always out here. It's like, can you come back and put those lights, fans, speakers in? And one of the great things about our system is that you can remove a panel from anywhere. So if you ever need to get back into that system, you can do so without having, you know, a lot of these systems, you start pulling it down where you finished. So you've got to unscrew everything all the way back. We can literally go and pull a panel from anywhere, pop a light in it, throw some wires across, and you're back to go.
I'm going to show that here. Again, you can see how easily he comes in. He has his little trick, and, you know, he's up and in here pulling this out. Talk to us a little bit. I showed the app. It's like you have an app, I believe. Let me pull this up. I know I got to see it at the summit a little bit here. Yeah. It's the Haven control module. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up one more time. Just walk us through a little bit about ease of use with this and why your customers love it.
Yeah, so this is really cool. So the app itself has a couple of different things on it. It's going to have the video. If you guys download that and your guys are asking you for questions on the fly, the videos will be on there. But what the app was created for was our Haven control module will then allow you to control the lights, the fans, all from your phone. You know, and we actually have another port on there. So if they've got, you know, floodlights or something like that, they want to control from.
Yeah.
You're able to control the light on the fan speed, as well as our lights, all from the app. It's Bluetooth. We didn't want to go with the Wi-Fi, and the main reason because most people in their backyard, they don't have, you know, they're not getting Wi-Fi out there. So that's why we went with the Bluetooth. When you're out there, you can control everything right from that.
Tell me a little bit about what I know, again, it's all over the place, but so people can kind of get a little bit comfortable, since we're talking to other contractors here, not necessarily directly to our clients per se. What's the average cost of an underdeck? Just a basic one, you know, maybe they want one fan, two lights, and they know it's 15 by 20 or something, whatever the average is.
Yeah, so the average is normally around 250 to 300 square feet. So what I tell people is you want to be in that $30 to $40 a square foot range, right? So that's really going to put you in $1,000 to $12,000 range. Your material landed cost, depending on how you get it there, going through Spectra, you're going to be at about that $8 to $9 a square foot landed. Mm-hmm. And then I figure, you know, you guys all pay everybody different. I figure you're going to be in that $3 to $4 a square foot for your labor.
Okay.
So at $28 a square foot, you're basically doubling your output there. So, and that's a 1 day job for a 2-man crew, that 250 to 300 square foot.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what the customers can offer, you know, what contractors can offer their customers as far as warranty. Like, what is that?
Warranty is you're going to get that same warranty that you got with Spectra, that limited lifetime.
Okay.
I believe that's the 25 years on the paint finish and the material itself. Underdecks are just like gutters in the sense that they've got to be cleaned. So anything other than, not maintaining the system would be covered in the warranty.
Okay.
As far as your material side of it goes. But I would tell people that, these do have to get cleaned. There's not a cover that you can essentially do to keep the leaves and debris out. It's tough to tell people how often you're going to have to clean it. I tell people, typically it's that 3 to 5 years.
Yep.
Being out where you are out in Florida, it's not like you are here in Georgia where we have trees and things like that. So it's a little bit different via region of the country that you're in. If you've got something that's just in the woods and you got trees all over it, they may need to clean it every year, every 2 years, depending on how often they're blowing the deck off. And we've got that video like you just showed that shows homeowners how to remove and reinstall a panel. I'll tell you, on my install side, we do really well with having that as a service. Just like, a lot of your guys clean gutters, we'll charge $4 or $5 a square foot to go out and take down the panels, clean them out, put them back up, wipe everything down. And I actually use that to help pay for my techs. So I have, warranty guys, assessment guys that go out, do punch out, stuff like that. Separate from my actual installers. Okay. And those guys love it. They can go, I actually have them go out on a Saturday. I'm paying them $1. They get to go and do piece rate. And so they'll go out, and then when you're just cleaning a system, I mean, my guys will go out, spend 4 to 6 hours on a Saturday and make $600 to $800.
So just another line of revenue, and the margins are going to be high on that side.
Exactly. And that allows me to essentially, I do one of those a week, and I've paid for 2 of my techs for that week. So me as a business owner, I'm like, I want to do. Of course, I want to have an additional
income source. Yeah. You guys, you Gutter Growth members, we're going to do some cool stuff for you. There's some of you already. Shout out Chris Sprouse. He's up currently in Georgia right now getting some training. What does that look like? He's going to be there, 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, so he came in, day one was yesterday. He's going to work. I told him, I was like, look, by 2:00, we're on the north side of Atlanta. He's going back to Florida. I was like, 2:00, you want to be in the truck. Or you're not making it to your kid's ball game tomorrow. Atlanta can be brutal on a Friday.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, so they come out and do a couple days. So you guys take him up on this opportunity. I know Heath personally, he will work very closely to ensure your success and make sure to get you trained up. And you guys, you know how to sell. And so use this opportunity the next time you're out by a deck. Let them know you have an option. If they'd be interested in it, you can go pull up the havenunderdeck.com. You can get educated first. That way you can go out and start closing deals, or you can get a pulse if you guys want to. Get the pulse. Get out to your customers. But like he said, you probably already have thousands, if not tens of thousands of emails for some of you companies. And if you're looking for that additional revenue source, hit them up. Hit them with the email blast. It's very inexpensive. Let them know you have a new service you're offering. Start building value around that. And I think it can work both ways. As the underdecking side, if someone were to take that on, right, and they start getting referrals for the underdeck, right, from friends and family. Now they've came over, oh my gosh, your new space is so livable, so enjoyable. Not only are they going to recommend you for that, if you're a company that does gutters and underdeck, right, it's just going to work both ways, right? So
there's also no Nike, right? So look around the country and go to a home and garden show this weekend. Tell me there's not 8 gutter guys there.
Probably 15.
Yeah. How many underdeck guys have you seen there? You're not going to find one. Like there's not any other than us and a couple here in the Atlanta market. There's not like dedicated I do underdeck companies, right? It's chuck in a truck kind of stuff. people trying to put up ag panel under their deck and rutting their deck out. Like there is just, it's wide open. There is no Nike. So there's opportunity with you guys to not only increase revenue, but not have to fight 7 other guys on a quote.
Yeah, exactly. There's not anybody else bidding. This is a good time to get in on this activity, guys. And you're going to be able to get the training from the guy who knows what he's talking about, man. Heath, you guys come check him out. The Gutter Summit, September 24th, 25th, 26th. He'll have his training vehicle there on the 24th. You will need to be a part of the VIP event to come over there and get that hands-on training. But otherwise, I'm sure he'll be at the event for a couple days. You could chop it up with him if you don't like learning. It was a pleasure, Mr. Bowman. And we'll see you soon. You guys can also catch Heath at a large amount of the Spectra Customer Appreciation Days. And you can reach out to him, pick his brain. I think within a few minutes of having a conversation with him, understanding his product and his service, his dedication to his clients. If you wanted to become one of his clients, you'd be very pleased. It was a pleasure having you on today, brother.
Ben, I appreciate you having me. Thanks.
Talk soon.
Yes, sir. Bye.